Well, the sky's gone a leaden gray this morning. Heavy, soft at the edges. And the rain, it started just before dawn. Real gentle at first. Just a whisper on the leaves. But now it's settled in for the day. A steady spring rain, the kind that soaks deep. I'm sitting here in my old rocker on the porch. Got my coffee. Got my quilt across my knees. And I got nothing but time. Nothing but the sound of this rain. And that's just fine by me. You hear that? That ping and drum on the tin roof overhead? Lord, I do love that sound. It's music, really. Some land soft on the far edge, where the metal's older, weathered smooth. Makes a muffled thump. Others hit fresh and sharp near the seam, and they ring out clear. Ping, ping, drum, like fingers on a washboard. My daddy put this roof up when I was just a boy. Said tin was the only way to go. You'll hear the rain, he told me. A man ought to know when the weathers come calling. He was right about that. I can tell you just by listening whether it's a light drizzle or a real gully washer on the way. This one here, it's steady. Even. Not in any particular hurry, just settling in to do its work. The boards beneath my feet are dry, but I can smell it. That smell. You know the one. When the rain first hits the dust, it's been baking on the road all week, on the stones, on the dry wood of the porch rail. It rises up, rich and dark, earthy. Some folks call it petrichor, fancy word for a simple thing. To me, it just smells like home, like relief, like the land taking a long breath and letting it out slow. The rail out front is darkening now, soaking through. The grain shows clearer when it's wet. All those years of weather written right there in the wood. I run my hand along it sometimes, feel all the little dips and rises. Smooth in some places, rough in others. Just like a life, I reckon. Out beyond the porch, the rain comes down in curtains. Not heavy enough to bounce when it hits the ground, but steady enough that you can see it slanting through the air. Silver lines against the gray. And the sound, it hushes everything else. The birds have gone quiet, tucked into the evergreens. The dog's asleep under my chair, snoring soft. Even the wind has laid down for a spell. Just the rain. Just that gentle drum and murmur. It fills the holler like water fills a cup. Slow, full, complete. I can't see the creek from here. It runs down past the tree line, maybe 100 yards off, but I can hear it. Oh yes. When the rain comes, the creek speaks up. Right now, it's just starting to rise. I can tell by the change in its voice. Earlier this morning, before the rain, it was a trickle. A lazy little whisper over the rocks. But now it's got some body to it, some weight. It's beginning to rush. Give it another hour or two, and it'll be a whole different thing. The water'll turn milky, all churned up with silt from upstream. It'll push over the rocks instead of sliding around them, kicking up foam where it tumbles. And that sound, Lord, that sound gets big, fills the whole holler. But we're not there yet. Right now, it's still gentle, still finding its way. I walked down there yesterday evening, just to check on things. The water was so clear you could count the stones on the bottom. Could see the little crawdads scooting backward under the ledges. The creek was low, real low. We'd gone near 2 weeks without rain, and it was showing. The garden was thirsty. The dust on the road was thick as flour. Even the trees looked tired, but the rain knows. It always knows when to come. I remember my grandpa telling me about the old ways, how folks used to watch the sky, watch the animals, watch the leaves on the backside of the trees. When the leaves turned their bellies up, he'd say, "Rain's coming," and sure enough. Yesterday afternoon, I looked out and saw every leaf on the big oak turn pale side out, fluttering, and I knew. Told myself I'd best get the tools put up, bring in the extra firewood, make sure the chickens had what they needed. And then I sat down to wait. That's the thing about the country. You learn to wait on the weather. Can't rush it, can't change it. Just got to let it come. The creek will rise, and then it'll fall again. The water will run brown for a day, maybe two, and then it'll clear. And the crawdads will come back out, and the minnows will flash silver in the shallows, and everything will go on like it always has. But today the creek is drinking deep. Now looking out toward the garden, can just see the rows from here, running parallel to the fence line. We put those seeds in the ground not 3 days ago. Beans, tomatoes, squash, a little patch of corn. You were here for that, remember? We worked the soil, turned it over, pulled the roots and rocks. My hands were black with it by the time we finished. Good dirt, though. Dark and crumbly. The kind that holds water but doesn't drown the roots. Looks like rain coming, I said then, and you laughed. Said I always say that, but I was right. The seeds are getting their first drink now. I can almost see it happening if I think quiet enough. Those tiny seeds buried under 2 inches of soil. They're swelling, softening, starting to crack open, sending out a little white root, thin as a thread. The rain soaks down through the dirt, slow and easy, fills all the little spaces between the grains. And the seeds, they pull it in like a sponge. It's a miracle, really, every single time, that a hard, dry seed, no bigger than a freckle, can pull water and dirt and sun together and make something green, something alive. I never get tired of it. The rows are dark now, almost black where the rain soaked in. The rest of the garden, where we haven't planted yet, is puddling up a little. That's all right. It'll sink in. And if it doesn't, well, we'll just wait another day or two before we work it again. No hurry. The ground will tell us when it's ready. I like to think about what's happening down there, under the surface. All that quiet work, the roots reaching, the stems pushing up toward light they can't even see yet. It's all faith, in a way. The seed doesn't know there's a sky waiting, doesn't know about sun or leaves or fruit. It just does what it was made to do, reaches, grows, pushes through. In a week, maybe less, we'll see the first little shoots poke up. 2 leaves, pale green and perfect, and then more. And then the whole garden will come alive, row by row. But today it's just the rain and the dirt and the seeds taking a long drink, and that's enough. That's plenty. The rain's easing up a touch now, not stopping, just softening. And that's when the mist starts. You see it there? Rising out of the trees down in the hollow. Wisps of it, curling up slow like smoke from a chimney. We call it the smoke around here. Some folks say fog, but that doesn't feel right to me. Smoke moves like this does. Drifts, climbs. It rises from the wet leaves, from the soaked ground, from the cool shadow places where the sun hasn't touched in days. The air's warmer than the earth right now, so the moisture lifts. Ghostly, silent, it walks up the mountain. That's what my mama used to say. The mist is walking. And you can see it, can't you? The way it moves through the trees, slipping between the trunks, wrapping around the low branches. It doesn't rush, doesn't hurry, just drifts. Sometimes it gets so thick you can't see the ridgeline at all. The whole mountain disappears, and the holler feels smaller, closer, like the world's pulled in tight around you. Safe, quiet, held. I've lived here all my life, and I still stop to watch the mist. There's something about it that makes you feel small, I guess, but not in a bad way. Small like a child is small, safe in something bigger. The old-timers used to tell stories about the mist. Said you could see things in it if you looked long enough. Shapes, shadows, the mountain's memory. I don't know about all that, but I do know it's beautiful. The way it softens everything, blurs the edges, turns the holler into something out of a dream. The trees fade into gray. The hills beyond turn to shadows. And all you can hear is the rain and your own breathing. Slow, soft, even. It makes you quiet inside. That's what the mist does. It hushes you, not with words or effort, just by being. By filling the space between things with something gentle. Something you can't quite hold, but you can feel. I reckon that's why I love the rain so much. Not just for what it does to the garden or the creek, but for this stillness, this soft, gray quiet that settles over everything and says, rest now, be still. The world will keep turning without you for a spell, and I believe it. The air's getting a little cool now, damp, the kind of chill that creeps in when the rain's been falling all morning and the sun hasn't broken through. I can smell the wood stove from here. My daughter must have stoked it up inside. Good girl. She knows I'll sit out here too long if I don't start to shiver, and even then, I might not come in. But the smell of that wood smoke, dry and sweet with a little bite of cedar, it calls to me. I can picture it now. The stove in the corner of the front room, door cracked open just enough to see the flicker of flame inside. The firebox glowing orange. The kettle sitting on top, starting to hum. Not a whistle yet, just a low, sleepy hum. The sound of water waking up. Inside, the windows will be fogged at the edges. Little rivers of condensation running down the glass. The floorboards will be warm near the stove, cool near the door. And it'll smell like coffee and wood smoke and wet dog, probably, since he'll have shaken off by the door. It's a good smell, a home smell, the kind that soaks into the walls over the years and stays. My mama's house smelled like that, and her mama's before her. It's the smell of a place that's been lived in, loved in, where people have sat by the fire on rainy mornings and cold winter nights, where they've warmed their hands and told their stories and waited out the weather together. I'll go in soon. Pour myself another cup of coffee. Maybe toast a piece of bread on the stovetop. Let the butter melt into it while it's still hot. Sit in the chair by the window and watch the rain from inside for a spell. But not just yet. There's something about this porch. About being just on the edge of the rain. Sheltered, but still part of it. Dry, but close enough to hear every drop. It's a good place to be, a threshold, between in and out, between doing and being. I like it here. You know what rain does? It makes you stop. Oh, you can work in it if you have to. Lord knows I've done plenty of that. Hay in the field, cows to tend, fences to mend rain or shine. Some things can't wait, but most things can. Most things are happy to wait, and the rain, it gives you permission. It says, not today. Stay still, stay close. And there's a kindness in that, I think. We get so caught up in the doing, the moving, the fixing and building and going. We forget how to stop, forget how to just sit, just be. The rain remembers for us. It fills the air with a sound so steady, so constant, that it quiets everything else. The chatter in your head, the list of things undone, the worry about tomorrow, all of it fades. And what's left is just this, the sound of the rain, the smell of the wet earth, the cool air on your skin, your breath going in and out, slow, steady, easy. I've lived a long time now, seen a lot of seasons, a lot of rain, and I can tell you this, the days I remember best aren't the busy ones. They're the quiet ones, the ones where I sat on this porch and watched the mist walk up the mountain, where I listened to the creek rise and fall, where I let the rain drum on the tin roof and didn't try to do a single thing about it. Those are the days that stay with you, the still ones, the soft ones, the ones where you remember you're part of something bigger, something older, the rhythm of the land, the cycle of the seasons, The rain that falls and feeds the seeds and fills the creeks and rises as mist and falls again. Over and over. Without hurry, without fear. Just doing what it was made to do. And maybe that's what we're supposed to learn. From the rain. From the garden. From the mist and the creek. And the seeds buried in the dark. That we don't have to rush. Don't have to fill every moment with noise and effort. That sometimes, maybe more often than we think, the best thing we can do is stop, sit still, and let the world wash over us. Gentle, steady, the way this rain washes over the holler, soaking in slow, feeding the roots we can't see, softening the edges, making everything quiet. The rain's still falling, softer now, but steady. It'll go on like this for a while yet. I reckon. Maybe all day. Maybe into the evening. And that's all right. The garden's had its drink. The creek's had its say. The mist has walked the mountain and settled back down into the trees. And I've had my time here on the porch. My time to sit. To listen. To be still. I'll go inside now. Let the stove warm my bones. Pour that second cup of coffee. Maybe I'll sit by the window and watch the rain a little longer from in there. Or maybe I'll just close my eyes and let the sound of it carry me off. Either way, it's been a good morning, a soft morning, a quiet morning, the kind the holler gives you when you need it most. And I'm grateful for the rain, for the porch, for the tin roof and the wet earth and the seeds drinking deep, for the time to stop, to breathe. To just be. So you rest now too. Let the rain fall. Let it drum and murmur and hush the world around you. Let it soak in slow. And know you don't have to do a thing. Not a single thing. Just listen. Just be. The rain'll take care of the rest.